What's going on, everyone? My name is D. Anthony with evolutiontraders.com. What we are going to look at here is the NASDAQ 100. So all of you futures traders out here, we're looking at NQ. If you do trade those mini contracts, this is going to be your chart. Again, if you're trading the micros, same thing, same type of price action, same supply and demand, just smaller sizing, right? So right now is not really a day where you want to be trading max size. Now, you may be looking at some of these candles and thinking, well, there's some significant money to be made. Sure, there is, but there's a hell of a lot of volatility, meaning we're coming down, we're holding, we're snapping back. Just when you think we're going to go long, comes back down. Just when you think we're going to go short, they trap, they go back up. So we're in a little bit of a range here, right? We're in the middle of a daily range. So if we go ahead and we look at the daily time frame here, and it's going to be the chart on your left. If we look at the daily channel here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So the last 5 days, essentially, we're trading to the top of the range. We're coming back down to the middle. We're coming to the bottom of the range. We're coming back to the middle until we start to lose 12,613 on the NASDAQ 100 to start coming down here to test 12,400s, which is the 20-day moving average. You still have to give the benefit and the kind of give the nod to the bulls, right? The bulls are still holding and teeter-tottering with their short-term 5-day moving average, which is a power trending moving average. If we look at where potentially we could be coming down to, we could be coming down to around 12,700, which is a 10-day moving average. That would be a very, very strong spot for the bulls to bounce this move and continue to the high side. So a lot of times newer traders will get into this because they think that we're going to roll over. They get in, the move quickly goes in their favor. They don't take any cash flow off the table. We run right into this rising supply here, this rising kind of support. You end up getting trapped and it stops you out, or you lose a ton of money and you're kind of wondering what the hell just happened. That's exactly why I have all of these moving averages and all of these supply and demand zones on my chart. I have a rhyme to my reason as to how I trade these, and it's very, very clear to me. If you would like to get more information, join evolutiontraders.com and we can go over the whole strategy through my webinars and one-on-one coachings. But with that being said, right now, we're just in the middle of the channel. So it's not really a time where you want to be going full size. It's not really a time where you want to be chasing every single setup. What we're going to need to have happen is break down through the 12,600s on the NASDAQ 100 to start at least opening up a little bit of range down to the 20-day moving average, or we're going to need to start taking out some of the most recent highs here and start to push up towards this Bollinger Band at around 13,000. So again, until that happens, right now is just purely, if you do take a setup, go maybe quarter size, half size, and think cash flow. If you get into the move, it starts to go in your favor, take a little cash flow off, start to use break even as your stop, maybe risk just very, very small amounts, lunch, dinner, whatever you're willing to kind of lose, knowing that we're in the middle of a channel is perfectly fine. Right now is not the time where we want to go ahead and load up max size, thinking that we're going to break down or break up. If we kind of look at the 1 hour time frame, this is for all intraday traders here, you really want to see here, we're coming up to the top of the range, coming back down to the bottom, coming up to the middle top of the range, coming back down to the bottom. So someone right now who may be thinking it's time to short could run into a little bit of resistance here at 12,791, get reversed, get stopped out to see this trade back up to the middle of the range. We're really going to need to lose this 150-day simple moving average, which is sitting at around 12,791. We're going to need to lose this to have potential to kind of come down here to 12,700, which is about 92 points down below. So this might be a trade that would be interesting here. What I would need to see happen here is I'm going to need to see on the 1 hour time frame, I'm going to need to see us break this price action, put in a new low below this price. I'm going to need to either see it pull back, consolidate sideways, or wait for the next hour candle to confirm the new low below this support. And then that's where I'm going to want to take it short. I'm going to have intentions of taking profit off going all the way back here to Friday's price action where we had a lot of these wicks kind of hold. And if you look at Thursday, we had a lot of these wicks hold. And if you look at Wednesday, we had some wicks and some price action hold. Again, you're coming down into support. So as this looks good, like the market's going to roll over, it's still a little too soon to kind of jump on the bandwagon and say that this market's going all the way to zero, right? Because if you look around social media or stock twits or Twitter and all this other crap, you're going to see a bunch of people with a lot of fear mongering, right? There's a lot of people that are going to be saying, you know, recession is coming, this, that, and the other. We're going down, we're going down. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. But it's those people who are putting that message out there that we're going to start to roll over and the market starts to trap and doesn't really make a new low. You're constantly always looking for the short. You're going to get destroyed. Now, that's not to say that we do not make a new low, but if we do start to make a new low and we do start to push lower, well, we know and understand our levels that need to kind of get addressed and taken out before we have a little bit more confidence. That's going to be first starting with 12,700s and below that 12,600s. Below that, then maybe now we can start thinking about putting on more short positions. Again, to the top side, we're going to really need to kind of clean up all of the supply. If you do try to take any one of these bounces here off of these supports here, just understand, go very, very small size, maybe quarter size, half size max. And then as soon as the move starts to go in your favor, immediately start to take those profits off, because the last thing you want to do, these can stop at any time. It's not really breaking out. It's just kind of trapped in between a lot of ranges here, very, very small ranges. So for example, if you do bounce off this level here around 12,800s, you know, just take some cash flow, maybe 5, 10, 20 handles higher. If it comes down here to 12,791 and you want to bounce off this area here that I'm going over with my cursor, and it starts to go up 5, 10, 15 handles, take your money, take your money. It doesn't necessarily, a bounce doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to bounce from here and come all the way back up to the top. It can bounce 10, 20 handles, come right back down. It can bounce 50, 60, 70 handles, come right back down. So just always be aware of that. In order for us to put a little bit more risk on the table, we're going to really need to take out these highs from today. We're going to need to get over that 12,987 area. And I would really essentially, you know, like to see it get over 13,000. Over 13,000, kind of clear out this Bollinger Band here and kind of work our way back up to 13,120. That would be you know, the next price target that I would look at for the long side. But again, right now the market's not really giving that to you, so you're going to have to be a little bit more patient. Now if we look over to the right here, if you were just looking at the left-handed chart, which is the 1 hour time frame, you would think, man, this market, you know, it could come down, you know, another 50, 60, 70 points. Why don't I just short it? Well, if you look at the 5-minute time frame here, you're going to see it correlating up with some support here at the linear regression at the 12,811 area. So it's when newer traders start to short in anticipation, thinking that they understand where the market's going, but not understanding and identifying the whole picture, is when you get destroyed. Right here, there's going to be a ton of traders trying to bounce the stock. Now, if we lose this area, they would wait for it to lose this area, reclaim this 12,800 area, and then take this into the 12,830s. That's 25, 30 point move on the NASDAQ100, depending on if you're playing minis or micros. That could be a hell of a move. It could be a move with, depending on your sizing, that could make a trade for a whole week, right? So just understand, in order for us to really start pushing down, we're going to really start to need to build below the 12,810 area. And in order to do that, we're going to need to start getting some 5-minute candle closes below that. We're going to need to get a bounce back up into this area, get rejected anywhere between 12,800 and 12,810 and 12,810, and then we're going to need to see that start to roll over and take out those new lows. And then you would imagine that the next area that a lot of people would be looking to bounce the NASDAQ is going to be around 12,793. So you don't really have a lot of room in the trade to the short side until we close on a daily candle below 12,793. Okay, when we start to close below 12,793, potentially we have about 100 points down to the next area of support, which is going to be this 200-day moving average on the 1 hour time frame at around 12,700. Anything below 12,700 would become a macro trade down into 12,600, 12,5.5, right? So that's what we need to kind of look at here. Again, right now, stay patient, guys. Even if you don't put on a trade today, even if you maybe took 1 or 2 trades and you kind of scratched or you lost a little bit of money, it's okay. Today's not the perfect and most ideal day to trade. And that's what, as day traders, we need to understand. Not every day is going to be picture perfect. Not every day you're going to have fantastic moves. Now, there could have been people that shorted the NASDAQ 100 today and made an absolute killing. I took a little bit of a short position as soon as on the 5-minute time frame here, we got below the 20 and 50-day moving average. As soon as I seen them start to sit here at this 200 EMA, you can see this candle here with this red arrow. As soon as we started to sit here and we broke this level is when I took my short position. I had to kind of sit through a little bit of drawdown for 10 minutes, but then we started to really flush. And as we went into this Bollinger Band here, guys, I just took some profits. I didn't catch the rest of this move, right? Because why? One thing, my position sizing was a lot smaller. Just understanding that we were in the middle of the range. So I'm not looking to put on a ton of size. I just want to take a little bit of cash flow. I want to keep my day rolling and I want to wait for the bigger setups, right? But again, essentially someone could have taken this trade from 12,900 all the way down to around 12,800. It was a 100-point move. Fantastic trade. Could have made your week, could have made your month, depending on your position sizing. So again, guys, there's always ways to trade. It just depends. A lot of times traders want to put their emotional bias ahead of what's going on in the charts, meaning that some people who are extremely bullish and they think we're going to the top don't want to take this short position. Meanwhile, there's other people who are going to look at the charts and say, hey, well, if we do start to lose this level, we potentially could come down to these prior 2 candles here on these opening range lows here. And if we do start to take out the opening range lows of around 12,811 or 12,881, then essentially we have room to come down to the next support, which is down here at around 12,810. So you have to look at the market from both sides. Right now, I would not be trying to chase the short position as we're coming into support on the 1-hour time frame as well as the 5-minute time frame. So what I would be looking for here is to let this candle close on the 1-hour time frame, allow this to either bounce or consolidate sideways going into this top of the hour candle. And if we then lose the 12,791 area, then take an opportunity to try to short the market here. But again, we need to let this hour candle close, because if we do chase now with about 6 minutes left of this hour candle and you get down here on the bottom and we do start to bounce and it goes up 20, 30, 40, 60, 70 handles, you are literally trapped at the bottom of the range. That's not what you want to have happen. What you want to have happen is to get in with the second wave. So always look at it like that. I don't want to be the first person busting through the door. I want to let someone else bust through the door, and then I want to come in with a bunch of guys and gals right behind me. So again, if you guys want to learn how to trade futures, stocks, or options using this strategy, make sure to join evolutiontraders.com. You're going to get access to the live community where I do daily watch list, I do intraday technical analysis, I work with traders one-on-one when it comes to psychology and mindset and breaking down the process of how to do this and to be a consistent trader. Because again, guys, it's very easy to make money in the stock market. It's also very easy to lose a lot of money. What we want to do is slow this whole business and this whole game down to be very, very boring and simple and consistent. Consistency is what is going to keep you in the game for the long haul. It's not about trying to make, your year's salary on every single trade. That's not how this works. I'll see you guys on the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.